Look at this picture. This isn't a scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. This is downtown San Francisco right now, and it's happening in every major city across the country. The media is telling you it's just a temporary downturn, a side effect of remote work. They are lying. What you are looking at is the epicenter of the next great financial crisis, a crisis that will make 2008 look like a minor tremor. The commercial real estate market is not just in a slump. It is fundamentally broken, and the $20 trillion time bomb it's sitting on is about to go off. This isn't about a few empty office buildings. This is about a chain reaction of defaults that will cascade through the entire banking system, freezing credit and vaporizing trillions of dollars in wealth, your wealth. In the next 18 minutes, I'm going to lay out the undeniable proof that the commercial real estate crash is not coming. It's already here. I'll show you the secret data that banks are hiding, and I'll give you a step-by-step guide on how to insulate your portfolio from the fallout. This is the most important financial story of our time, and you are not being told the truth. Stay with me. For decades, commercial real estate, or CRE, was considered one of the safest investments on the planet, tangible, income-producing, and backed by the steady growth of the American economy. Pension funds, insurance companies, and banks all loaded up on it. It was the bedrock of their portfolios, a tangible asset you could see and touch, a stream of rental income that was as reliable as the sunrise. But that safety was an illusion, built on a foundation of cheap debt and a pre-pandemic world that no longer exists. The boom was fueled by a decade of near-zero interest rates, which made it incredibly cheap to borrow and build. Developers, chasing yield in a world starved of it, overbuilt and over-leveraged, creating a glut of office and retail space. They were playing a game of musical chairs, fueled by the Fed's punch bowl, and they never imagined the music would stop. The music stopped in 2020. The pandemic didn't just send workers home, it triggered a fundamental revolution in the way we work. Companies discovered they could operate with a smaller footprint, saving billions on rent. Employees discovered they could have a life without a 2-hour commute. This is not a cyclical trend. It is a permanent, structural shift. Office vacancy rates in major cities are now at 30-year highs. We're talking about hundreds of millions of square feet of empty, unproductive space. These aren't just buildings. They are non-performing assets, generating no income and sitting on the balance sheets of regional banks like ticking time bombs, the very definition of a stranded asset. While offices were emptying out, another long-term trend was reaching its brutal endgame, the retail apocalypse. The rise of Amazon and e-commerce has been a slow-motion train wreck for brick-and-mortar retail for years. The pandemic was the final nail in the coffin. Malls are dying. Department stores are extinct. The landscape of American retail is a wasteland of empty storefronts and for-lease signs. The value of these properties has collapsed, and the loans that were used to build them are now hopelessly underwater. This isn't just about a few failed stores. It's about the collapse of an entire business model and the trillions in debt that were built upon it. And then came the Fed. In their frantic and ultimately futile attempt to fight the inflation they created, they jacked up interest rates at the fastest pace in history. This was the death blow for the CRE market. Suddenly, the cheap debt that had fueled the boom was gone, and a wall of debt was looming. Over the next 24 months, nearly $1 trillion in CRE loans need to be refinanced. But they can't be. The numbers don't work. The properties are worth less, the income is lower, and the interest rates are higher. A wave of defaults is not a possibility. It is a mathematical certainty. It's a slow-motion train wreck that everyone sees coming, but no one can stop. Who is holding the bag for this trillion-dollar disaster? Not the big Wall Street banks. They saw this coming and have been quietly offloading their CRE exposure for years. No, the bag is being held by the regional banks, the same regional banks that were at the center of the 2023 banking crisis. For many of these banks, CRE loans make up 30, 40, or even 50% of their total assets. When these loans default, it will vaporize their equity and trigger a cascade of failures that will dwarf what we saw with Silicon Valley Bank. This is the next shoe to drop, and it's a very, very big shoe. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They are the pillars of local communities, the lenders to small businesses, and they are about to crumble. People will tell you that the system is safer now than it was in 2008. They are wrong. This time, it's worse. In 2008, the problem was subprime mortgages, a relatively small corner of the credit market. This time, the problem is in the heart of the banking system. In 2008, the Fed could ride to the rescue with bailouts and 0% interest rates. This time, their hands are tied. If they print money to save the banks, they will unleash hyperinflation. If they don't, the system will collapse. They are trapped, and they have trapped us with them. In 2008, the problem was complex derivatives. This time, it's simple, old-fashioned bad loans, the kind that don't just disappear, the kind that have to be written off, and the losses will be staggering. So what do? You cannot count on a bailout. This time, they are planning a bail-in. That means they will use your deposits to recapitalize the failing banks. It's legal. It's in the Dodd-Frank Act. So you need to protect yourself. First, get your money out of the regional banks now. Second, you need to own assets that are outside of the banking system. Physical gold and silver, Bitcoin, assets that cannot be frozen, seized, or bailed in. Third, you need to reduce your debt. In a credit crisis, debt is a killer. Pay down your credit cards, your car loans, your mortgages. Become your own central bank. Take control of your own financial destiny. Don't be a victim of their next solution. A crisis of this magnitude is a destructive force, but it is also a creative one. It will clear out the dead wood of the old system and make way for something new. The collapse of the CRE market will create a once-in-a-generation opportunity to buy valuable assets for pennies on the dollar. It will reshape our cities and change the way we live and work. For those who are prepared, who have preserved their capital, and who have the courage to act, the opportunities will be immense. The key is to survive the storm, and the storm is here. This isn't about predicting the future. It's about preparing for the inevitable. The old world is dying. A new one is being born, and fortunes will be made by those who see the change coming and have the courage to embrace it. Don't say you weren't warned.